Hi, kiddos. I feel like we got a lot of answers from chapter 16. We now know that Nadia was actually Lydia, right? Lydia, yes. And her sister is, no, wait, she's Lissa. Larissa. Her sister is Lydia, and Baba was her grandmother. So we got a lot of information from that. Also might remind you of another book, I believe, Making Bombs for Hitler. So now we're going to read chapter 17. This one is titled Gretchen. Remember, Gretchen was her name when she was with the German family at the German farm. Gretchen Himmel. With a flash of understanding, I remembered becoming Gretchen Himmel. At first, I only pretended to believe that I was German, but the more I lied, the more real it became. I first spoke German to make the punishment stop. But soon I was thinking in German, marching with the other children, reciting long poems and songs about Hitler. We were born to rule the world. I was proud to be one of the chosen. Larissa disappeared, and Gretchen emerged. Gretchen knows that the woman I called Baba is not my grandmother. She stole me from my parents, who are decent German farmers. The man who called me daughter is a bandit. The woman I called mother is a spy. That girl Lydia is not my sister. She's an evil slave, and she was trying to trick me. She's being punished for her crimes. Jews are rats. They deserve to die. I can hardly wait to go back home to my real parents. My name is Gretchen. I've seen my birth certificate, and it says Gretchen Himmel. It is a relief to leave the confusion behind. So these were things that she was told over and over and over again, and punished if she didn't say them, and punished if she didn't believe them. So you can see how a little kid would go from the point of knowing that's not true to believing it because they're scared and they don't want to get hurt. I'm bathed, then dressed in a crisp white blouse and blue tunic and shoes that pinch at the heel. My hair is clean and combed and braided. I sit by myself in the back seat of a long black car and breathe in the clean scent of freshly polished leather. The car stops at a huge farmhouse in the country. The fields around it go on for miles and are tended by slaves. The driver is a soldier in a dove gray uniform, and he opens the door for me with a smile. He says, "I'm sure you are glad to be home, Gretchen." I step out of the car and gulp in the country air. A blonde girl in a pale pink dress pushes open the door of the house and runs to me. A sad-eyed blonde woman follows close behind. "My big sister has finally arrived," the little girl says. Before I know it, she has wrapped her arms around my waist. She is crying or laughing, I don't know which. "I'm so glad you're home," says Eva in German. Is this my home? I don't remember it, but I don't remember many things. I am relieved to be safe in a place called home. Eva tugs me by the hand, pulling me to the open door of the big farmhouse. The blonde woman walks a few steps behind us. She has barely greeted me, but Eva tells me she's our mother. I watch her through the corner of my eye and see that she's wiping a tear away from her cheek. You can understand why the little girl is excited. She has a big sister, somebody to play with, but the mother is not excited. You think the mother knows that isn't her real child, and maybe it's a little bit harder for her to accept. The door of the house opens up to a big entryway that smells of bleach. My heart pounds, but Eva squeezes my hand. She leads me into a room just beyond the entryway, and I gasp. 2 walls are lined from floor to ceiling with books, most in German, but some in other languages too. I hunger to touch them. The books call to me. Above the fireplace is a huge portrait of Hitler, our leader and savior. On the mantel is a framed picture of a sad-looking young man in a dark uniform. "That's our Gert," says Eva. "He is very handsome," I say. The woman who is supposed to be our mother stands behind us and regards the photo. I can hear her sniffle. "Your brother was handsome," she says, "and brave. He died while fighting for the fatherland." She leaves the room, and Eva and I are alone. Mother has been so sad since Gert died. Maybe she'll cheer up now that you've come. I don't remember Gert, and now he's gone. That makes me feel guilty. I am sad that our brother died. Maybe that's why the mother is sad, because she just lost a son to the war. Eva looks at me strangely, then blinks. Maybe looking at her strangely because she knows she never knew the brother. "You'll like it here," she says. "There's lots of food." "Your father is on his way," said Miss Barry. I blinked once, slowly, and looked around. I was on the sofa in the staff room at the library. I looked down and saw that I was holding a glass of water. I took a sip. Miss Barry brushed a wisp of hair out of my eyes. It was a simple gesture. It was such a gentle gesture that I almost wept. Eva is right. There is a lot of food. Apples and mushrooms and noodles and sauce, meat and stuffing. Mother places it all on the dining room table, but whatever I put in my mouth sits like a lump of coal on my tongue. Mother makes chocolate cake with icing to entice me. She makes biscuits in the shape of men and draws on a face in white icing. Eva loves it all and gulps down every bite. I force myself to eat, even when it makes me feel ill. I want the hurt to go away from Mother's eyes. I have my own room with a giant 4-poster bed, but I cannot sleep. Dark uniformed men dine at our table and talk together until the wee hours of the morning. I hear the clinking of glasses and roars of laughter. I rarely see father except at these meetings. Eva and I put on our prettiest dresses and go downstairs to greet the guests. Father introduces us as his 2 flowers for the fatherland. When I am finally able to go back to my room, I sing a song of nonsense words to block out the noises, but I cannot sleep. I think that deep down she knows that she's not right, that she's not in the right place, that she's not doing the right stuff, but she's been forced these lies so much that this Nadia or Gretchen can't sort through it. In spring, the OST woman arrives at the farm in the truck. She smells bad, and I do not like her. But the next time I see her, she no longer wears the OST badge, and she is clean. Mother tells us to call her Cook. Eva and I play outside together. We collect lilacs to give to Mother. She puts them in a vase and sets them in the middle of the kitchen table. She says Cook will like them. Mother prefers bought ones for the dining room. We are not allowed to go into the fields where the slaves are. I see a slave come to the door. Cook bandages his wound. Mother doesn't see that. Neither does Eva. I should tell Mother about it, but for some reason, I don't. See, she knows. Mother begins to take Eva on errands, but leaves me at home. When they are gone, I open the book room and breathe in the scent of old paper. It makes my heart ache to smell it, but somehow it makes me happy too. I climb up on the desk and draw out a book with gold lettering on the spine. The one beside it crashes to the ground, bending the pages. My heart pounds when I hear footsteps. It is only Cook. She picks up the book and puts it back on the shelf. She takes the one I am holding and puts it away too. She examines the books. Her eyes light up and she takes one down and hands it to me. Her eyes light up, meaning she found some book that she wants. The title is not in German. I say. Cook smiles. Another time I sit under the lilac bushes and whisper my nonsense song under my breath. Cook comes up to me. I notice that her hands are red with work and her eyes look tired and sad. I feel sorry for her, even though she is an animal. I say in German, "Would you like to hear me sing?" She nods. I sing again my secret song. Cook weeps. On the second verse, with a tear-filled voice, she joins in. She sings the entire song with me. How can she know my secret language? You know? I say. She tries to hug me, but I push her away. Mother has told me to stay away from the slaves. Are you figuring out who Cook is yet? Cook swallows back her tears, and then in harsh, precise German, she says, "This is not your home." I am shocked, speechless. But she isn't finished. There is more. I will protect you. The harsh ringing of a telephone jarred me back to the present. I blinked and looked around. The past was so real, yet here I was lying on a sofa in the staff room of the library. I could hear Miss Barry's voice talking to someone on the other end of the telephone. Then her voice faded away. Hayden. Sorry. When Mother and Eva come back from their errands, I am bursting to tell them about what Cook said. She should be punished for her crying. But for some reason, I say nothing. The next time Eva and Mother go away, Cook invites me to share a meal in the kitchen with her. It is slave food, a thin soup with black bread. I take one spoonful of the thin broth and begin to weep. I try to remember what the soup reminds me of, but my memory has been washed clean. We are to go to a rally, and Mother has told me to be ready for when they get back. I put on my pink dress and Cook braids my hair. I wait and wait and wait. I walk through the house and see that drawers have been left open and belongings are scattered on the floor. I feel the ground tremble. The Soviets are coming, whispers Cook. We must leave this place. I do not want to go. This is my home. The room of books is here. The lilac bush is here. Mother told me to wait. Cook picks me up and carries me out the door. I scream and pull her hair. She drops me on the ground and I fall hard on my back. Come with me if you want to live, she says, and she begins to walk away. I follow her, begging her to wait up. I run after her through the fields, and I see that slaves are all gone. When I mention this, Cook turns on me, her face red with fury. Slaves, she says, not slaves. Those people are Ukrainian. They're just like you. I don't believe her, but this is not the time to argue. She tells me her name is Mauricia, not Cook. We hide behind bushes as Soviet soldiers comb the fields, rooting out the other slaves, the other stolen people. We are to be brought back to the Soviet Union and punished for letting ourselves be stolen by the Germans. We walk through forests and countryside studded with landmines. We see villages burning and hear bombs exploding. I do not expect to live. We join a group of ragged survivors. Your name is Nadia now, Mauricia tells me. You will never be Gretchen again. But why Nadia? I ask her. The name means hope, she says. It was the middle name of my little sister. She was stolen by the Nazis, too. That was a really good chapter. Told us a lot of interesting information. Gave us a lot of background on how the two met. Some of the things about the war, like the Soviet Union punishing the people who were stolen by the Germans. Very, very difficult time. There's only one chapter left. I've really enjoyed reading to you. I wish it would have been in the classroom. Bye.